So we have quite a few things going on today in this episode. We're obviously going to be simulating some of these games in the beginning of the season until we get up to the next game that we're going to play in an episode. But before we do that, we're actually going to jump in and take a look at free agency because there's somebody in the free agency that we might want to pick up for this team. A lot of you guys mentioned him in the last episode in the comments, and I think we're going to look into it. Possibly have to waive a player, but if we have to do that, I'm willing to deal with that. And another thing I seen mentioned a lot was you guys wanted me to go around and look at some of the rosters, throughout the NBA, look at some of the new rosters, since the offseason just happened. I'm going to do that as well, but I'm probably only going to show you guys the most interesting rosters, the ones that were shaken up quite a bit, or if there were any big stars traded, I'll highlight that stuff as well. But first, I have something extremely special for you guys. The St. Louis Nighthawks officially have their own ESPN style reporter. Yes, you heard that right. We have our own reporter now, and it's none other than a part of the CodenameSteev family, our boy Cheese Eater Holloway, who is now known as @Nighthawks Podcast. I'm going to show you guys some highlights of his first video covering the team. Be sure to go and show your support, man. This is a part of the CodenameSteev family, just like all of you guys. Be sure to head over to the channel and let him know what you think, but here's a preview of what you're going to get.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first official episode of the Nighthawks series, where I go over everything that's happened with the Nighthawks. The Nighthawks are a NBA 2K relocation rebuild team created by CodenameSteev for a YouTube series. The whole thing began 2019. In 2019, he also said that we were going to be tanking because, we want to get as much young talent through the draft as we can. We had 2 picks, one of which was our original pick, and the other one was a pick that we got from Minnesota. In the end, we ended up with the number 10 and number 2 pick. And with the number 2 pick, we got James Wiseman out of Memphis, who I think is the second best player in the draft besides LaMelo Ball. And we got a lot out of James Wiseman. He dunked on Jason Tatum, which was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Hit a couple of mid-range shots, which I'm going to say this, I'm going to keep saying it, I like versatile centers. I play basketball myself, I'm a power forward, and we saw him many times get open through cutting through the lane, setting screens, running pick and rolls, doing just whatever that Steve wanted him to do. I think Derek Fisher, he's really going to find a way to get James Wiseman involved. James Wiseman, player of the game, had 32 points in his first ever start in the NBA. And then Killian Hayes was up next with 16 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, some takeaways. But I'm going to keep saying it, we got something special. We got 2 really special players with Killian Hayes and James Wiseman. Malik Beasley can start being a little more consistent. We can have a big 3, Taco Fall. Get him coming off the bench, or heck, even being a starter. If anyone else watches this video, I'll be uploading maybe like 1 or 2 days, maybe 3 days after CodenameSteev uploads a video of this series. I may or may not live stream me watching the video and my reaction. If anyone else sees this who watches him, let me know in the comments what I should do about that.
Absolutely awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. Big shout out again to Cheese Eater Holloway, my man, covering the Nighthawks like I said, like an ESPN style reporter. Cannot say enough about he took the initiative to do this. Like, this was his idea. This is all him. I had nothing to do with it. It's all him. He deserves all the credit for this. And by the way, yes, Mr. Holloway, I would love at least to see you live stream it. Your reaction to the videos, your reaction to the games, that would be something that I would greatly enjoy, and I hope that all of you guys would enjoy it as well. But like I said, man, if you like what you saw, be sure to head over, show him some support. Like I said, this was all his idea. He deserves every bit of credit for this. So like I said, we've got plenty of things going on in this episode today, including playing a game against one of the teams that includes one of your #ad players. It's probably going to be a doubleheader because I don't want the episodes to be that long. But I'm going to be releasing the gameplay right after this episode, where we go through more of the GM style stuff. Now, one of the things that came up a lot in the last episode as well in the comments was Malik Beasley, but I think I have a solution to his problem with his overall. We will get into that in a little bit, but one of the things I want to do is I want to throw Jamias Ramsey into the G League because I want him to start developing right away. This is something I really want him to start doing, and also I want to take a look at the free agents because a lot of you guys mentioned, here he is right here, we should pick up Rajon Rondo as our mentor instead of Corey Joseph. As you can see, he has gold dimer, silver break starter, flashy passer, needle threader. He's got bronze floor general, which I really, really like a lot. He's got all the badges we need for him to be a good mentor. And I really like, he doesn't, like, Corey Joseph doesn't really have these badges. I'm not 100% sure how good of a fit Rondo will be for Killian Hayes. I'm hoping a great fit, you know, but I'm willing to drop Corey Joseph to see if Rondo, at the worst case scenario is that I think that Rondo will at least be a better mentor for Anthony Simons, which I'm perfectly fine with. Some of you guys mentioned that we should send some players to the G League and then sign Rondo and not have to waive anyone, but as you can see from that message, sending players to the G League doesn't open up roster spots because they're not on two-way contracts. If I send them down there, they're still under contract with the team. So what we're gonna have to do, man, is we might have to say goodbye to Corey Joseph. Like I said, I'm kind of willing to do that. It's, you know, we just signed him. A lot, you know, this happens a lot with NBA teams where they'll sign a player, he might not work out, you know, leading up to the season, and they'll waive him. You know, unless it's a big contract. And in this case, it's simply not a big contract. Let me take a look real quick. Anthony Simons, here we go. So, I mean, looking at these badges, looking at the graph, he's not even going to be to bronze on any of those badges by the time, you know, the end of the season rolls around. I also wanted to see if maybe, where's Torrey Craig? Okay, here's Torrey Craig. Yeah, I was hoping that maybe Torrey Craig could be a mentor for Anthony Simons in some way, but as you can see, you know, even his silver quick draw won't help Anthony Simons, you know, by the time the end of the season rolls around. Like I said, I'll put these badges back for now, you know, just for the time being, but he's not even going to get to bronze on these. So Rondo, at the very least, I think will be a better mentor for Simons, even if he can't mentor Killian Hayes. All right, so let me take a look here. Release to free agency. All right, unless signed by another team in the next 2 days, away player's salary will count against your team's total salary for the remainder of the player's contract. I believe we only have him on a 1-year deal. Okay, yeah, 1 year, $3.6 million. So you know what? I'm fine with that. We're just going to release him. We have enough cap space to where that $3.6 million doesn't bother us too much. Really probably wouldn't bother me anyway, honestly. But Rondo, let's see what we can negotiate with him. $4.53 million. I'm not saying he's not worth that, but I would love to get him down closer to what we had Corey Joseph on under contract for. Let's see if he'll go for 3.6. The same exact contract as Corey Joseph. Offer it, yes. Okay, he's accepted. He didn't happily accept, but he accepted. That's the important part. So now we have Rondo on the team, which is exactly what we need right now. We need a guy like this who can mentor some of these young guards. And as you can see, he's on a 1-year deal. Let's take a look at Mr. Rondo in his Nighthawks uniform. Looking good. I don't know if I love this player model, though. 2K's player model, not really as good as some of the mods that I've seen out there. So, you know what? Change some things up here. I might actually go and take a look at some mods for Rondo. So, I'll be right back after I do that. So there you have it, boys. I have found a better model for Rajon Rondo. I like this one a lot better. I feel like it's an updated look. It's got the, you know, the more up-to-date hairstyle and all that stuff. And I think it just overall looks better. This one I got from 2kspecialist.com. It was done by a gentleman by the name of CQQQQ. Or could have been a lady. I don't even know. Might have been a girl. Who knows? I don't know who CQQQ is. But all I know is whoever he or she is, this model looks a lot better. I think we're going to have Headband Rondo on the St. Louis Nighthawks. And we'll say he'll wear it sometimes. Maybe not all the time, but he'll wear it sometimes at least. Even more important than Rondo's player model is his ability to be a mentor for some of our young guys. So, let's take a look first at Killian Hayes. I'm hoping that Killian Hayes is the guy he can mentor moving forward. Let's see here. Rondo. Oh, wow. Hayes already has silver dimer. That's really nice. But just looking at the graph here, like, even these silver badges that Rondo has barely would get him to bronze. I guess we'll do flashy passer, break starter, and dimer for now. Even though it doesn't even look like he's going to get him there with all those. Let's take a look at Simons, though. Where is Anthony Simons at? Did I pass him? There. Okay, there he is. So, let me take a look if Rondo's better for Simons. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, just look at the graph. Look at the difference in the graph. Like, Just look at Dimer, for instance. Like, he would have him to bronze by January. And it looks like he'd have him to floor general somewhere in, like, I don't know, late February. This is perfect. This is exactly what we need. So, unfortunately, Rondo can't mentor Killian Hayes all that well, but he can do a great job for Anthony Simons. He can get him all 3 of these badges, no doubt, by at least by mid-season at the latest. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to set him as the mentor for Simons, and then of course Killian Hayes will continue to be without a mentor for now. But like I said, this is no different than if we still had Corey Joseph mentoring Anthony Simons and not getting in the badges. At least we have a guy that's mentoring him and getting them badges now. So like I said earlier, a lot of you guys mentioned in the comments on the last episode that you wanted me to go through some of the rosters and, you know, so that we could figure out where a lot of either the free agents or, you know, any trades that might have happened, you know, where players are on which rosters and stuff like that. Now, I know I went through the transaction report and all that, but we'll take a look at some of the rosters at least just to see if there was any big trades. You see JaVale McGee on the 76ers. We kind of already knew about that. Let's see what else we got here. The Bucks, still very, very similar, it looks like. They did pick up Pirtle. We already knew about that as well. They've got our boy Vinicius Cruz, our hashtag ad player. That's cool. Hopefully he'll get playing time with them. Let's see here what we got with the Cavaliers. It looks like they've got some new players on this team. Gary Harris, Jeremy Grant. Knew about Exum. Jay Scrubb was one of their... Okay, so they've got Vlatko as well. This looks like this is one of the teams that may have made a trade. Pokashevsky, they drafted. Terry, they drafted. Marcus Howard, they drafted in the second round on a 2-way contract. That's pretty cool. But I'm trying to figure out, like, who did they trade and who they trade with? Oh, you know what? I think I see. Let me just take one more look. I think I see who's missing from this roster. You guys let me know if you see who's missing as well. Taking a look at the Atlanta Hawks, we already know that they did some work in the offseason. I mean, look at this starting 5 here. They got DeMar DeRozan now, but look at this starting 5. Trae Young at the 1, Bogdanovic at the 2, DeRozan at the 3, Collins at the 4, Capella at the 5. This could be a very, very dangerous team, you know, if they put it together, man. And having DeRozan in there as a veteran, I can see why they would want to pick a guy like that up. Trae Young should lead this team to big things this year. Taking a look at the Lakers, they look in large part the same. Of course, we know they picked up Tristan Thompson. We know they picked up Marcus Saul. They've got our boy Jamison Powell, Caruso, the GOAT, of course. Let's see, Durant, Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen, Dinwiddie, Drew Holiday. Okay, so this is one of the teams that made a trade. Drew Holiday coming over from the New Orleans Pelicans. This is a really good pick. So he's played one game, obviously, this season for them so far, and he scored 9 points. But last season, almost 15 points per game. You know, had a great year. Isaiah Thomas. Nicolo Melli. This is a guy who I know wasn't on this team before. So they made a trade with New Orleans. We just got to find out what they sent to New Orleans in exchange. Of course, they got Bryn Forbes. We had him last year. And they drafted Isaiah Stewart, who I think is going to be a stud. Oh, I think I found who was missing from the Cavs, and I found out where he is. Kevin Love to the Denver Nuggets. This is a pickup that I really like for them, honestly. He's getting up there in age, and he's definitely injury prone, but I think that this could work out if they really wanted to. They have Millsap on this team, but he's also getting up there in age. I still kind of like this pickup for the Nuggets. So the Pelicans, we already know, made a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. The question is, what did they get back? So we know they got Aldridge, you know, during the draft. They got him in a trade. And you know, on a 1-year deal, I just, you know, like, he's still got 1 year left on that contract. That's a curious pickup to me, but, you know, hey, look, whatever they want to do. They picked up Karis LeVert from the Nets, which I think is a great pickup. So that's part of what they got. Let's see. They still have Jackson Hayes. They have Josh Hart, Hood, Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince they got from the Nets as well, right? He would have been from the Nets, I'm pretty sure. It says New York, but, like, are they calling the Nets the New York Nets? I don't know why they would do that, but let's see. Karis LeVert. No, it says Brooklyn for him. So, but I know Taurean Prince was from the Nets. Taking a look at the Phoenix Suns, this could be a very dangerous team this year, especially considering they added LaMelo Ball. They've got some really nice pieces in place. Who else they got? They have Javon Carter, and they've got Nasir Little as well. He was on the Trailblazers last year, obviously, because they drafted him. McCord Maker, this is a guy who I know a lot of you guys love this guy. If we didn't have Taco Fall, if we didn't have several good centers already, I would definitely try to make a trade for him. I like him that much, but it just doesn't make sense for us to make a move for Maker right now unless we were gonna, unless we just gave up on Taco Fall, which I don't think any of you guys want to do yet. So the last roster I want to take a quick look at is the Wizards, because when you look up and down the top of this roster, you can see why I'd be interested in this team. Bradley Beal, John Wall, if he's healthy, if John Wall can stay healthy for a season, Hachimura, Cousins, and Obi Toppin as your starting five, that is an extremely intriguing, top five to have on your team. Drafting Obi Toppin, man, they couldn't have done a better job there, especially considering what they already had on this roster. And the fact that he fell to them at 3 is probably exactly what they were hoping for. Justin Holiday, very underrated. This team doesn't have a great bench, but they have a very, very good starting five, which could really, really help them and possibly catapult them, maybe into a playoff spot. So I said we would get to the subject of Malik Beasley and his overall, and the fact that he didn't progress during the offseason, which was very odd because a lot of you guys mentioned this, and I thought the same thing. If a player averages what he averaged during the season last year, starting off at a 78 overall in the beginning of the year, and average almost 27 points per game, and won Most Improved Player, in the next year's version of 2K, he would have gone up to at least an 84 or an 85 overall. So what I did was I added 2 attribute points to 5 different categories, to 5 different attributes for him. I also added, I also upped some of his shooting badges as well, because that's a lot of the stuff that I think would have been upgraded, if it was real life, if 2K had come in and actually, done it themselves. So, they probably would have done a lot more, actually, because I think, like I said, he would have probably been a mid-80s. But, he's up to an 81. I think that's fair for now, and we'll see what he can do this season. So now that we got all of the roster stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the game that we are going to play, the next game we're going to play, and we'll simulate up to that game. I definitely want to play a game against one of the teams that has a hashtag ad player on it. We could play the Kings, the Rockets, the Trailblazers. You know what? I'm pretty sure the Thunder have one of our hashtag ad players. I think they have JoJo Mason Jr. So we'll go ahead and play that game on December the 16th, and we'll simulate up to that point. And then the next game we play and so on during the regular season, we'll just keep on playing against teams that have our hashtag ad players on them. All right, let's go ahead and simulate through December 15th, and then we will play that game against the Thunder. And we're not even a few games into the season. Avery Bradley already out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken left wrist. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Avery Bradley was pretty injury prone last season as well. Is that like a thing with him? But anyway, we'll put Rondo into the rotation for now, and I'm hoping that the game's smart enough to know that I want Simons at shooting guard while Rondo is in the game. Let me check on that. All right, so it looks like our timeline, okay, it does have Simons at shooting guard for the majority of those minutes, or all of those minutes that Rondo's in the game. So we're 1-3 so far. Let's continue simulating up to our game. Won a couple games there. Dion Waiters, no thank you. Michael Carter-Williams, no thank you. Even though I do want to trade Finney Smith, I don't want Michael Carter-Williams. All right, let's keep on here. Quinn Cook for Terrence Ferguson. Nope, I don't need another point guard. Let's see. All right, so Finney Smith has hyperextended his right knee. We could keep him in, but I'll go ahead and just adjust this manually really quick. All right, let's get back to our simulation now. And all right, so now it's time to do a little bit of scouting. So I definitely want to scout a lot of the top players here, obviously, because I'm hoping that we can get a high draft pick this year again. Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Green. Jalen Green would be really, really nice. We'll scout all these guys. Jalen Johnson, again, another guy that would be really nice on this team. We'll scout Cade Cunningham just because he is the consensus top pick. But we probably don't need another point guard, but his talent, man, is through the roof. Zaire Williams, definitely scout him. BJ Boston is another guy I'm very interested in, so let's make sure we get him scouted as well. So Green, Cunningham, Mobley, Barnes, Johnson, Boston, and Williams will be our first round of scouting for our for the rookies coming up in this next draft class. And now we can continue on with our simulation, and as you can see, we have now reached this OKC Thunder game. We sit at 9-14 on the season, which is actually a little bit better than what I was expecting. I was expecting us to, I don't think we won we definitely didn't win 9 games by this point last season, so we're definitely doing a better job. But of course, we have more talent on the team as well. But I do want to take a look at the standings, so we're taking a look at the Western Conference first. 18-7, you can see the Clippers, Mavericks at 17-9, putting it together. The Jazz, the Timberwolves, Nuggets, the Thunder, Phoenix Suns, and the Lakers at 500 at 11-11 so far on the season. I wonder if there's some injuries there. Memphis, Golden State, us, Sacramento, Portland, Houston, and San Antonio. Of course, they're rebuilding, but San Antonio at 6-18. Over in the Eastern Conference, you can see no surprises with the Bucks being at the top at 19-7. However, the Chicago Bulls at 18-6, man, is this the season that they finally put it together? The Nets, the Pelicans, and Zion doing pretty well so far. Toronto, Philadelphia, Boston, Atlanta, Charlotte having a good season so far. The Knicks, the Heat, the Magic, the Cavs, the Wizards, and the Pistons. I cannot believe, man, the Wizards with that starting lineup just still can't put it together. They've lost 10 in a row, 10 straight games that they've lost, and you have to wonder, is there some injuries going on there as well? But then Detroit and Indiana, they round out the Eastern Conference. All three of those teams not doing well at all, in the East over there. So before we hop into our game, I just want to take a quick peek at our player stats and see how guys are doing. As you can see, Malik Beasley having another monster season, man. 22 points per game, 2.7 rebounds, 1.5 assists, almost a steal per game. This guy is really, he's doing exactly how I hoped he would do, especially considering I knew he wasn't going to come back and run it back and score another 27 points per game, considering we have guys like Wiseman and Hayes, other guys on the team that can score. Anthony Simons is a year more experienced. He's going to be scoring, but Wiseman, man, almost 20 points, 12 rebounds and an assist per game, 2.3 blocks, and 1.3 steals per game. These look like Rookie of the Year numbers to me, and I'm going to be honest with you right now. If he doesn't win it, I'd be pretty disappointed. Killian Hayes, 15, almost 16 points per game, 8.1 assists. He's got to be close to leading rookies in that category and possibly up there among the league leaders altogether. Simon's having a great year so far, man. 12.6 points per game off the bench for us. I would like his assist numbers to kind of climb up a little bit, but we kind of know that this is what we have with him for now, at least. We have a guy who can score in a hurry, but isn't a polished playmaker quite yet. Crowder doing a great job off the bench, man. We got him for his defense, but he is doing other things for us as well. 11 points, 5.5 rebounds per game. As you can see on paper, the defensive numbers don't look great, but what he does for us does not show up in the box score. This guy is an absolute pest on the defensive side of the ball, and he's just a high-energy player, and he's there to just absolutely frustrate the best player on the other team. Christian Wood, he's kind of like the Patrick Beverly of power forwards. Christian Wood, 8.7 points per game. Ferguson, 6.3 points per game. Finney Smith having a big-time down year at 5.5 points per game. He's also getting almost 6 rebounds per game, but this is a guy who, we might want to look to move on from, sooner rather than later. But, he's here for now. And then rounding things out for our rotation, Taco Fall putting up 5 points, 6.2 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game. But, decent season for him so far, not getting a whole ton of minutes. I want you guys' opinion on this as well, though. Should we throw him back into the G League and, give him some more time to develop before we start, giving him these significant minutes with the NBA squad? Some of you guys gave me your opinion on that in the last episode. I saw a lot of you guys saying, to put him in the G League, but then I also see other comments of people saying, put him in the starting lineup and throw Wiseman at power forward. But I think most of that has to do with the fact that you guys think that Wiseman could be an absolute monster at the 4, and I 100% agree with that. I think he could be just an absolute stud at the 4. He's got the athleticism for it. His shot will develop. He's got that type of potential. But, like I said, let me know what you guys think about Taco Fall, and, I will absolutely take you guys' recommendations on that. So that is going to do it for this episode, but as I stated in my post in the community section, this is going to be part 1 of a doubleheader. So episode 9 will actually be the game that we play against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like I said, I wanted to split it up into 2 episodes because I want you guys to get, plenty of gameplay, plenty of GM style stuff. I don't want to cut as much stuff as I normally would out because, like I said, we've got hashtag add players in this league. We've got a lot of good things going on, you know, in this universe, in this St. Louis Nighthawks universe, and I want you guys to be able to see all of it. So I'm splitting the gameplay into a different episode so that you guys can get a lot of the gameplay as well. Let me know if you guys like this format, and I'll continue doing it this way. But like I said, man, you guys are going to be getting episode 9 with the Oklahoma City Thunder gameplay right around the corner. I'm going to be recording it right this minute. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, but until our Oklahoma City Thunder matchup, I will catch you guys next time.